Alright, my first video that is specifically for the 7th graders. Woohoo! Alright. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look ahead at Module B coming up. And the first thing I want to do is just look at the goals. We don't really have time to talk about that in class sometimes, but I really want you to know what you need to be able to do well in Module B. Here's the 4 things you need to be able to do. All the operations of the fractions: add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. Number 2. All of the same things with decimals now. Same things, but the strategy is a little different with the decimals. Number 3, perform operations using exponents. We've actually talked about that some already because we had some different exponents in some of the problems that we've worked on so far. And number 4, express rational numbers as terminating or repeating decimals. What I want to do with this video is just take a look at Goal 1. So we're only going to look at Goal 1 today, and I'm not going to show you an example or anything like that. Instead, I'm going to show you some notes that I want you to take, and I'm going to show you how you can use these notes to help you study. So let's see if I can find a nice way to put this on the screen. I want to keep it as big as possible for you there. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video here and copy this down. You're going to need this. Okay, if you're playing the video from here, I'm going to assume that you've already copied this. If you didn't, you really need to go back and copy this down. I am going to want to see this in the classroom, and I am going to give you a grade for doing this. Alright, check it out. Here's what your homework is. This is what I call a memory table. Okay, and what a memory table does is it will let you memorize things very quickly. It's especially useful if you don't have a friend. It works a little bit like flashcards, except for we don't have flashcards all over the place. So what I'll do is I will fold this over so that I can only see one side. Now, the trick is to try to name the steps for one of these without looking. So for instance, what are the steps for adding or subtracting fractions? Do you already know it? Try to think about it and try to name them without looking at the table. And then you're going to look at the table to see if you're right. Okay, let's look and see. And then you'll look and see, okay, need common denominators, add or subtract only the numerators, then simplify. If you didn't get it right, I would close it again and I would do it again right at that moment, because you want to get that just fresh in your mind like that. And then I would move on to the next one, and I would move on to the next one. The idea is that after you do this a couple times, you are going to remember the steps for each one of these. And one of the first things I would do when I'm memorizing these kind of things, because I do this for my college classes, is I would realize that there's 3 steps for adding or subtracting, there's only 2 for multiplying, and there's 3 for dividing. So when I'm folding this over and I'm trying to think of those steps, I'm like adding or subtracting. Okay, I know there's 3 steps. Okay, well, I need common denominators for adding and subtracting, and then I only add or subtract the numerators, and then the last one, simplify. If you notice, it's almost a freebie here with fractions. We are always going to be simplifying, and on FCAT, they are going to give you answers in simplest form. Or they'll say, find the answer in simplest form. They really mean to simplify that, and we'll be looking at that in class, although I think a lot of us already have experience with the simplifying. But especially since we're skipping over the 6th grade math, it is very important that you use this table to memorize these things. Okay, and it doesn't take that long. It's a really easy homework. If you do this for 5 minutes a night, for 5 nights in a row, this thing will be just engraved in your brain. So give it a try. Let me know what you think about it in class. I want to know if this helped you, or was it useless to you? Is this something that you already knew? I think some of us probably knew this already, depending on who you had for 5th grade. Ideas that you have to study it, But basically the idea is we need to get these down because we will have only about 2 or 3 days in class total to look at this, the fractions part, because we still got to look at the other 3 goals. So I really appreciate you watching the video. I would like you to bring this to class. You're going to show it to me, and I am going to check you off for doing it. All right, have a good day.